Hi everyone, I'm Crystal Jewel and Floralde, and I'm one of the reporters for today's video. Teachers are role models we guide, inspire, and care for their students. But how do we make sure if they are doing the right thing? Today, we will explore the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. It is a vital part of professional development that guide us through ethical issues. But before we proceed to our lesson, let me have the objectives first. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to first, identify the code of ethics for professional teachers and its importance. Second, identify and explain the key provisions of Article 1 to 13 of the code. And lastly, analyze scenario involving ethical dilemmas and apply the relevant articles of the code to resolve them. Take a look at this picture. Teachers are said to be a molders of the generation. Teachers are the noblest profession, or sa Tagalog, pinakamarangal na profession, because teachers create other professions. Without teachers, we cannot produce graduates who would become, let's say, businessmen. We cannot produce graduates who would become engineers, doctors, and others, because they need teachers to guide them in their chosen field. So, teaching is a field which creates another profession. So, the role of a teacher is very demanding, as what you can see in the picture. The teacher is the one teaching. At the same time, there are other paperworks that teacher must consider or done. Pasan niya ang daigdig. So, why? Because they are carrying the future generations. What is the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers? The Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers is a set of ethical and moral principles, standards, and values that guide the conduct of teachers in the Philippines. It is based on Resolution Numbers 435, Series of 1998. It is issued by the Board for Professional Teachers. So, the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers serves them as a Bible. It is like a guide for how teachers should act. It has rules about what's right and wrong and good ways to behave. It helps teachers in the Philippines know how to do their job well. This guide tells teachers to be honest, fair, and to always think about what's best for their students. It was made in 1998 and it's still used today to make sure teachers are doing good and treating everyone right. So let's move on to the preamble. Teachers are duly licensed professionals who possess dignity and reputation with high moral values as well as technical and professional competence. In the practice of their noble profession, they strictly adhere to observe and practice this set of ethical and moral principles, standards, and values. So again, teachers are duly licensed professionals because if you're a teacher, you are really a licensed professional one because you will take the board exam to be called professional teacher. And of course, you possess dignity and reputation. It means that outside the classroom, you present yourself as professionally because you present this noble profession. And of course, you are competent with your job, the technical and professional aspect. You know how to present yourself, carry yourself in public, you know what you're talking about, and so on. And if you practice this noblest profession, you observe, adhere, and follow the set of ethical principles, standard, and values. So let's move on to the Article 1, Scope and Limitations. So when we say scope, this is what is covered, and limitation, kung hanggang saan. Section 1. The Philippine Constitution provides that all educational institutions shall offer quality education for all Filipino citizens, a vision that requires professionally competent teachers committed to its full realization. The provision of this code shall apply, therefore, to all teachers in schools in the Philippines. So according to Article 1, Section 1 of Code of Ethics, the Philippine Constitution mandates that every school must provide a quality education to all Filipino citizens. Of course, to achieve this goal, schools need teachers who are skilled in their work and fully dedicated to helping students learn. Code of Ethics applies to all teachers in all schools across the Philippines, whether a teacher works in a public school or private school. These rules guide their behavior and ensure they meet the standard needed to support the nation's education vision. Now let's move on to Article 1, Section 2. This code covers all public and private school teachers in all educational institutions at the preschool, primary, elementary, and secondary levels, whether it's academic, vocational, special, technical, or non-formal. The term teacher shall include industrial arts or vocational teachers and all other persons performing supervisory and for administrative functions in all school at the aforesaid levels, whether on full-time or part-time basis. Now, Section 2 clarifies exactly which teachers and school are covered. This code includes teachers from all levels of education from preschool, primary, secondary, tertiary, and even the non-formal school like the ALS, the Alternative Learning System. The word teachers here is broad. It includes classroom teachers, industrial arts instructors, principal, and school directors. Even part-time teachers who work only a few hours a week are required to follow this code. So, the Article 2, the teacher and the state. Kung ano ang relationship ni teacher sa state or sa country niya. So, we have Section 1, Article 2, Section 1. The schools are the nurseries of the future citizens of the state. Each teacher is a trustee of the cultural and educational heritage of the nation and is under obligation to transmit to learners such as heritage as well as to elevate national morality, promote national pride, cultivate love of country, instill alliance to the Constitution and respect for all duly constituted authorities, and promote obedience to the laws of the state. So Article 2, Section 1 state that the schools are the nurseries of the future citizen of the state. So when we say nursery, it means it is something where you nourish a child. Nourish in such a way that you feed them with knowledge. Nourish in such a way that you let them feel that they are part of the group. They are not alone. Nourish in such a way that you help them grow and develop. Each teacher is a trustee of the cultural and educational heritage of the nation. It is the responsibility of a teacher to preserve culture and educational heritage of our country. And it is teachers' obligation to transmit to learners such as heritage. Example, teaching about history. It's teachers' responsibility to let students know about the significant event in our history, which greatly contribute to the things that we currently enjoying now. Promote national pride, cultivate love of country, instill alliance to the constitutions for all duly constituted authorities, and promote obedience to the laws of the state. Hindi yung hinihikayat natin silang maging rebelde. Dapat, teachers should encourage them to obey the law. Article 2, Section 2. Every teacher or school official shall actively help carry out the declared policies of the state and shall take an oath to this effect. So, Section 2, this one is about teachers and the school leaders like the principals. Supporting the government's plan for education. The state has policies to make sure all students get a good education, and teachers should help to make those policies work. For example, if the government wants to promote environmental awareness in schools, teachers also take an oath to do their part in building a better state. According to Article 2, Section 3, in the interest of the state and of the Filipino people as much as of his own, every teacher shall be physically, mentally, and morally fit. So this section says that teachers need to be physically, mentally, and morally fit. Why? Because being a teacher is not easy. It is a demanding job.